I'm Justin Jensen, and welcome to my channel. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and may fall again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. Teddy Roosevelt. Hello. How's everyone doing today? Hope you are well. It's good to see everyone. Today is February 4th, 2023. Thank you for joining me. It's kind of a quiet evening on YouTube. 1 month of membership. Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, guys, right now, your memberships and your support means more than ever to us creators. YouTube is taking a lot from us now. And just to be quite honest with you, I don't know how a lot of people's going to do it. So we really rely on your support right now, and we thank you so much in advance. So congratulations on your 1 month membership, family member to the Justin for All membership. Thank you. Southern Grammy celebrates 5 months. Thank you so much, Southern Grammy. God bless you. Happy birthday to Summer Wells, wherever she is. Happy birthday. We will never, ever stop looking for you still. So, yes, if anybody wants to become a member, please, we appreciate it. We are always looking for new family members, your new brothers and sisters here on the channel. So thank you. All right. So I am outdoor dashing, so I'll be listening. Alabama Mom, you take care, and we appreciate you listening, and just be safe. So, hey Flo, good to see you. September, Louise, Robin, everyone, thank you so much for yes, please put some purple hearts in the chat for Summer Wells. Her birthday is today. She would be 7 years old. So I see you. You are my BFF, and I will appreciate you so much. Bernie, thank you all. GG, CR, Ferdy, thank you. So what we are going to talk about today, we are going to be talking about, well, we're going to be talking about Donald Wells. He made his rounds last night to many different channels. Donald is back. The Wells are back. The first maybe month or so, Don really wasn't talking to any creators. Now he is. And it seems like old times again. It really seems like old times. Today is your birthday as well, Peekaboo. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. Michelle, thank you so much for your support. It means so much to me right now. You have no idea. So thank you. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I think we should all want Candace to get better, whatever is going on with her. I think it's her heart or whatever. We should want anyone to get better. We should never wish, ill against anybody. However, that's not going to stop criticism, to be quite honest with you, nor should it. But thank you all for the purple hearts. It means a lot to Summer and the ones who love her. I know in this community, people love Summer so much, and she means a lot to a lot of us. So, Michelle, thank you. I do appreciate you, my love. It's very kind of you. I appreciate your support. So, Donald Wells has an article on People magazine today. And there is also, I think Josh may have played it the other night from the lab. It is with WJHL. And yeah, so I don't know what that ding was for, but I'm still getting kind of very used, I'm just still getting used to this new thing I'm streaming with, whatever it's called. Oh, thank you so much, Melissa. I really appreciate it right now. Seriously. Thank you all. Okay, so let's pull up this from People magazine. And it is, let me find it. Father of missing girl who vanished a year ago speaks out after jail release. And it says Summer Wells was reported missing from Hawkins County, which is in Tennessee, home on the evening of June 15th, 2021. Here is old Donnie Boy. Let me pop it around here. Perfect. Unbelievable. Yep, Lady May, you're right. You are so correct. The father of Summer Wells, who was missing in June 2021, is breaking his silence after being released from jail for a DUI charge. Donald Wells told Tennessee news station WJHL TV in an on-camera interview that the family is still focused on finding Summer Wells, who disappeared in June 2021 at the age of 5 years old. And they have, after picking flowers with her mother and grandmother, who would have turned 7 this weekend. Quote, I don't really want to celebrate her birthday without her, Donald said. Quote, she was definitely going to be tall, probably as tall as me. I don't know how tall Donald is, but I wouldn't expect a 7-year-old who is, I mean, maybe she would have, but I wouldn't expect a 7-year-old to be as tall as he was, especially because Summer was kind of tiny anyways, right? Just my opinion. I'd say because she is growing so fast, I'm sure she would be the same person, and she didn't have any qualms about talking or taking on her brothers. That's for sure. She didn't hesitate to put them in their place real quick, and I'm sure Summer didn't hesitate to put them in their place. He noted that the family won't give up on finding her. Okay. Quote, we have to prepare ourselves for a worst case scenario, he said, we could always hope for a good scenario. So, and it says, but Donald said the family has been plagued with one bad thing after another. A month after she went missing, the Department of Children's Services took custody of their older children, all sons, then had to serve an 8-month sentence for a DUI charge. I don't know if that's plagued or decisions, but Donald finally got released from jail in October 30th, 2022. Being behind bars, he said, was very isolating, but drove him to his faith. Okay. Quote, one of the guards gave me a copy of the New Living Translation Bible. So I found that to be about the best book there was. So I read. Donald told the news station, I read it several times because what else is there really to do? I was in a 23-hour lockdown for my safety, they say. He said that while he was in jail, his wife Candace was running around, whoring around some girls, but who was able to contact his sons, but once he got out, everything changed. Now, forgive me if I am wrong about this, but was there a relationship with the kids when Candace or when Don was in the or when Don was in the jail? Am I wrong? I mean, seriously. Yeah, Toya didn't know God before he went to jail. And when he gets out, I mean, he's carrying on now, right? Yep, I know, Lady May. It's beyond disgusting, in my opinion. Beyond. So they're saying everything changed once Donald got out of jail. Quote, suddenly we weren't allowed to contact them at all. He said, adding that his new priority was to get his family back together again. Quote, we really want our boys back home. If Summer was to be found today, we wouldn't be able to see or talk to her. And we can't talk to our boys. Here's a darling picture of Summer, of course. In January 23rd, post on the family's website titled Find Summer Wells, Donald opened up more in depth about the custody battles to bring his sons home, claiming that their assigned lawyer won't return their calls and the regional DCS contact has not responded to their emails despite there being, quote, no charges against us. DCS is doing nothing to help us. In fact, they're making us jump through all kinds of hoops, which is almost impossible to jump through all of them and hold down a job and do all these things and making it real tough on us, Wells claims. So, you know, if you're, Don, if you need help getting in touch with like a DCS worker or something, uh, I can offer you resources if you need anything. I'll just say that. You can email me. So, all right. On top of that, it says his wife, Candace, has been in the emergency room 4 times for heart problems as they were looking at, quote, eventually doing a major surgery, quote, to correct the problem with her heart. Summer was reported from missing from Hawkins County home on the evening of June 15th, 2021, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. The following morning, an Amber Alert was issued for Summer. Quote, she was planting flowers and her mom and her grandmother wanted to go into the house. Grandmother and, pardon me, Summer wanted to go into the house and she wanted to go downstairs and play with her toys. Donald said after the Amber Alert was issued per WSMV, quote, I went down to the basement and she was gone. And she went out of the basement door, which was unlocked, and we haven't seen her since. During a press conference, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation spokeswoman Leslie Earhart told reporters the circumstances leading up to Summer's disappearance remains unclear and is an uncharacteristic for Summer to wander off from home. Despite several leads and tips submitted early in the investigation, nearly 2 years later, Summer is still missing and her Amber Alert remains active. So that is the article. Yes, guys, if you don't mind, creators need it more than ever right now. Thumbs up, anything. It's please. So, what is your thoughts on that, guys? Don said he was at work that day. How would he know? Well, there is so many inconsistencies in what the Wells has said for a year and a half that, just countless hours on YouTube, on different panels, saying this, saying that, from, screaming and cussing to DV on live camera, just all kinds of different things. Pr- Frank, prank phone calls, just endless. It never, ever, ever, ever stops. Guilt and karma is eating them. You think so? Unclear, no real accounts of the last people who saw her. Yeah. Well, the 911 caller, the dispatch said that the mother was going for a walk, and then it was, Candace went inside, or Summer went inside, Candace was shortly behind her. It wasn't more than 2 minutes because, Candace was helping her mom with a leg brace or something like that. And Summer wanted to go inside. And then she said that the boys said that Summer went downstairs. And within 2 minutes, someone had came up on that mountain and went, caught her or was already in the house and then ran down, I guess, the mountain, jumped in a car, and never seen again, allegedly. So now we're at nearly 2 years. Let me see some of your comments. Yeah, last night Don was clearly drunk. Some creators are saying he wasn't, but he wasn't. Law enforcement hasn't told us Don was at work. Yeah, Michelle. I hope everything is okay. Hope you're having a good weekend too, my dear. Donald said the walk story was a miscommunication. Yeah, I heard that, Momo. but that's just what he says today, or yesterday rather. You know, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a whole new life with every day with Don and Candace Wells on YouTube. So, what was Candace doing to find Summer while he was in jail? Well, that's hold on one second. Sorry about that. Yeah, I actually don't know what she was doing. I mean, she, Candace not recently said, but she said that she had to put Summer aside and focus on the boys, and I would agree with her. She did put, Summer to the side and didn't focus on the boys though. And, she had a new love interest from all accounts, while, you know, Don was in the jail. I'm sure Don had a new love interest too, but that's besides the point. Uh, she was worried about her livelihood. It's called Get a Job. Yeah. Hello, Angeli. How are you doing? Was you on Dolly last? Was you on Dolly last night? What does that mean? I'm sorry, Kathy. I don't know what that means. Uh, Good to see you, Linda. Thank you. Exactly, Lady May. Exactly. Now let's watch the interview that. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's just see if People has it. Let me try it like this. I might have it. Let me just do this. Okay. We'll watch that interview from WJHL.
New tonight, we're speaking with the father of a missing Hawkins County girl for the first time since his release from jail. Good evening, I'm Sarah Diamond.
I'm Josh Smith. Yeah, it's been almost a year since we've last seen or heard from Donald Wells. An Amber Alert to find his daughter Summer Wells remains active 19 months after it was first issued.
Yeah, Don was released from jail back in October after serving time for a DUI charge. He broke his silence in a recent post on findsummerwells.com.
He criticized the Department of Children's Services in Tennessee about how they handled the case involving his older children. And now we're hearing from him in his first on-camera interview with News Channel 11 since getting out of jail.
Ansley Daniels spoke with him. Ansley, what did he tell you?
Well, Josh and Sarah, this is the first time we are hearing from Don since he was released from jail. And in the months following, with their sons in DCS custody and Saturday marking Summer's 7th birthday, Don Wells told me that he and his wife just want their family back together. It's been almost a year and a half since Summer Wells went missing from her home in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County.
We have to prepare ourselves for a worst case scenario. We can always hope for a good scenario, but it can't be good because no matter what situation she's in, she's lost her freedom. Even if she's alive, she's lost her freedom. She can't be seen in public. About a month after she was reported missing, her 3 older brothers were placed into DC.
I don't know if he just says these things and doesn't realize the things that he's saying before he says them. I mean, I get it. We all have said things and not thought them like completely through, but the Donisms is what I call them that he constantly says. It's like if she's somewhere and she's not able to be released and not being able to be in public or anything like that. I mean, how would you know something like that?
DCS custody. We really want our boys back home. If Summer was to be found today, we wouldn't be able to see her or talk to her, and we can't talk to our boys.
Were they in touch with Candace while you were in jail?
Yes.
So my question is is it Dawn and Candace? Is it just them just a victim constantly, or do they ever take accountability for anything that they have ever done, or do they just give in constantly? Constantly. Because the judge told him that they needed to go to rehab. Now, it doesn't matter if he gets an attorney, a private attorney, that won't get the kids back unless you do the criteria of what DHS, CPS, whatever it's called in your area, wants you to do. If they want you to go to rehab, you could have Johnny Cochran as a lawyer, and it's not going to work. Things are required in order to do that. And if you are not meeting those standards, what do you expect? It's not because it's a mean judge or whatever. This is in the best interest for not only your kids, if you want them back, but you and the health of your entire family. So it's really that simple. It's not freaking rocket science.
Yeah.
But did something change when you got out of jail?
The only thing that changed is suddenly we weren't allowed to contact them at all.
Wells spent a little more than 8 months in the Hawkins County Jail for pleading guilty to a DUI charge.
One of the guards gave me a copy of the New Living Translation Bible, so I found that to be about the best book there was. So I read it several times because that's all there really was to do. And I was in 23-hour lockdown, so for my safety, they say.
And since he was released from jail, Wells says it's been a challenge to gain custody back.
They're doing nothing to help us. In fact, they're making us jump through all kinds of hoops, which is almost impossible to jump through all of them and hold a job, do all these things. They're making it.
Don, rehab, I believe, was one of the requirements. I think even Benny, tried to get you to go to rehab and stuff, and you wasn't having it. You weren't having it. Do whatever hoops, in your words, that you have to do to get, if you want the kids back, those are the hoops you have to go through. God.
Real tough on us.
Wells told us he has been in touch with investigators over Summer's case.
There's not one shred of evidence. There's nothing. As much as they've looked, as much as the work of this they've done, they haven't been able to come up with anything at all.
His wife, Summer's mother, Candace, has also been in and out of the hospital.
Candace has been in the emergency room 4 times for heart problems, and we're looking at eventually doing a major surgery, hopefully to correct the problem with her heart. But she's doing better, I think. But all this stress and stuff, it's not helping at all, I don't think, for sure.
This weekend marks Summer's 7th birthday.
It's just another day without her. I don't really want to celebrate her birthday without her.
A time where he will wonder what she would be like as a 7-year-old.
She was definitely going to be tall. She'd probably be as tall as me, I'd say, because she was growing so fast. And I'm sure she would be the same person. And she didn't have no qualms about taking on her brothers, that's for sure. She didn't hesitate to put them in their place real quick.
Don Wells says that even though there has not been any new leads in Summer's case recently, he's hopeful that by keeping her name in the news, there will continue to be some new information shared with police.
Ansley Daniel, thanks. Again, that Amber Alert for Summer Wells remains active. She has been missing since June of 2021. If you have any credible information that could help investigators,
I pray to God. It's just constantly something with them. It really is. Now I wanted to go over some more things about what John was talking about last night. If I can find it. Huh. Maybe not. And then we're going to go over okay, there we go. All right. And these are from the interview room things. Josh, you're welcome up. You're welcome up anytime. I dropped the link if you want to come up. If you no pressure. But you're always welcome up, Josh, of course. And more things about what Donna said. Please let me know if this echoes or if it doesn't. So let's go. Oh, no sound for me. Okay, let me back it up here.
Was there a car at the bottom of your driveway when you pulled up? Like a cop car or anybody? You just pulled right in? There was nobody there. I was the first one there. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Can y'all hear that now? So, Don was not the first one there. That is not true. There was police. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Heather. There was at least one police officer there before Don was. Remember, Don was in Jonesboro, which is 30 to 45 minutes away. Obviously, you make that phone call, even though the Wells is a way out. He still wasn't the first one there. The police arrived before Don, and Chris eventually called him out on that. And then he agreed to it. He's like, well, there may have been one there, brother.
Bottom of your property? Yes. And the little dirt road, I went past that, I went straight down that hill, straight to the creek, and that's when I seen my boys, and then I seen my neighbor Don walking to the left side, the boys on the other side of the hill, and I knew, like I say, I knew my heart just sank right there. I just knew she was gone. And what brought you to that place first and not to the house? Well, I figured they was looking all over the house, but I was thinking, well, they probably ain't been out on top together or anything, so that's what made me drive down there first. Okay. And then, did you go into that shed? No.
Listen, did you go into that shed? So listen to what he says. He says no, and then he says, well, I might, and then he said, I went in it sometimes. So they're all looking around the house. You go and see your boys, and you see your neighbor Dawn, and then you go to the shed, automatically to that shed, because you think she might be around there, but then you say, nope, didn't go. Then yeah, I did. Then maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. No clear answer. No clean cut answer. Continue listening to this.
I did yours too, by the way. Yeah, that's what I did. I don't know if I checked it then or later, but I know I did go in there and look.
Listen, when something happens traumatically in your life, you remember generally, unless your memory is stress can also wipe the memory completely out. But he said, he knew what he was doing. He went to that building, but he doesn't remember if he went in there or not. Now, you just said that they were all up there looking. Your boys was down at the creek looking with your neighbor. And you went straight to the shed. Now, who is going to go straight to a shed and not look in it? It makes no sense. That's what you're there to do. You're there to look for your child. Did you hear that? Oh, wow, Kiki, that's terrible.
I'm not sure if it was right then or I might have parked and walked in there and looked real quick. I just don't remember. But
I might have parked it there and looked. I just don't remember. You go to the shed to open it, not to just stare at its door. That's exactly right. Yes, I remember my son took off with the dog when he was little and was found, and I have a mental picture and probably, yeah, gray hairs. Yeah, that's exactly right, Heather. I mean, if there is something, was there anything affiliated with that shed with Summer? Why would you think she would be in that shed? Did she ever go in that shed before? I mean, according to you guys, Summer would never walk off that property. Your words, not mine. And to be honest with you, I can't imagine Summer walking off without, her brothers present either.
and once I knew she was gone, I went to the top of the house and went up the driveway up there. So, why would you have gone into the shed? I'm curious. I may have. I just can't be sure on that.
I may have parked the car, went there and checked it. Something about that shed.
I did. I went in there, but I'm not sure if I went in there right then or if I went in there at a later time. I'm not sure. Okay. And then, go ahead. I'm listening. Well, once the police started arriving,
She probably wasn't allowed past that shed as a rule, so he would go in there to see if she was there. Well, the shed that he's talking about is the shed that is down past the driveway. Down the road. It's still their property, but you got to go down the driveway and it's a little bit past their driveway. Now, yay for members. Thank you. Yay for members. Thank you, Marie. Thank you. Appreciate your membership, y'all. Means a lot right now. Thank you. Yeah. You know, DRUG dealers, they are DRUG dealers. Most of them aren't. Drop the link for Josh. Okay. Most of them aren't there to, take a kid. Right? Most of them aren't there to take a kid.
If it was me, I'd lock them up, whatever, and then start asking questions, but it's not up to me. But why would you do that? Why from your because okay, Ben Hill Road, if you I don't want to get him in trouble or nothing, but he everybody goes back there looking for pills, meth, or whatever it is they're looking for. If we see all kinds driving back through there. We even see a car come back there just barely running on 2 cylinders, just everything I got to get back there to ask him if he's got a pill or whatever. It's crazy. But and also my neighbor has caught people parking our driveways, sitting there doing drugs. Either early in the morning, late at night, whatever, many times over. I'm going in the house, out of the house. We're just turning everything, looking everywhere. We didn't know what to do, and the police started pulling up.
Okay, he says he went in the house, out of the house, and police started pulling up. You just said in the same interview prior to that they were already up there looking in the house. So there was no need to go look up there. And so you were going, down to the shed, but you still wasn't sure if you looked there. And now you placed yourself back up at the house, and then the police started showing up. Talking out of both sides of your mouth, kid.
Yeah. And where did you search? Pretty much everywhere. In the sheds.
Now listen to what he says. Now listen to what he says. He says, Chris asked, where did you search? The first thing he said was all the sheds. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, all of them.
Josh?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hold on one second.
Can y'all hear Josh?
How
about that? Try that now.
Hello?
You can hear him? You hear
I can hear. You can't hear me,
hold on,
Justin?
let me try something. I'm going to kick you and then pop you back up. All right. How about now, Josh?
Hello?
Dang it.
Weird.
Yeah. You can hear him? I can't hear him.
Test.
Hold on.
Hello?
Let me see here.
Hello?
That's so weird.
Yeah, so everybody else can. Hi, everybody. Everybody else can hear.
He said he'll be right
You're
back.
the only one that can't hear me.
I can't hear him.
This is my show now.
Let me make sure my settings are good.
Just kidding.
Settings. Send it, Josh.
My love. I
cannot
feel like
hear
I'm
him.
hijacking the show. I feel bad. I don't want to do that.
You hear both fine. Weird. Let me see if I can hear him through here. Let me try it like this.
The weirdest thing is that everybody else can hear. He's the only one. The weirdest thing is that
I can hear you through there.
because I can hear you. You're the only one that can't hear me. Oh, hey, how's it going? Hello. Hey, Justin, can somebody tell him to check the audio output on his computer? That might be the problem. No, I'm not muted. I did mute myself. But I can hear Justin. Hmm. Now we can't hear Justin. What's going on? What streaming app is this?
Okay.
I text him too. I don't know if he got my text or not.
I'm going to check my audio output. 1 second. That's so weird. I've never had anything like this happen. Go ahead and entertain Josh. Go for it.
Hello? Can you hear me? How's everybody doing today? Good to see you. I will not be live tonight, but tomorrow we'll be back at it with another fantastic show. I am overly surprised at the amount of people that are defending pedos, but I mean, that's kind of whatever. Into a rather slam. I'd rather slam. This is great. But oh yeah, it's gonna be a banger. And the thing about it is like, people can say whatever they want about me or my past or whatever. Look, if that equates to me not being able to talk about a pedo, go for it.
I got it.
You can hear me?
Yes.
What was it?
My audio output.
Justin, oh my God, I knew it. Did you see my text?
No.
Read your text and then read your chat.
What everybody's like, audio output.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was saying, hey, tell him to check his audio output.
I don't know anything about this shit. I'm sorry. I told you I need help with
I told you
Streamline.
I'll help you. Yeah, no
I need
problem.
help with Streamline.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
Good,
Been an
good.
interesting 24, 48 hours, huh?
Mm-hmm. It certainly has. Certainly has. There's been a lot of alliance changes, it seems. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
I am baffled, but I'm not really, because Don, he's a manipulator. That lady that was calling him out, and by the time that was over, he had beaten her into submission too, because he's like, I don't like you. It was just,
I guess I know who you're talking about.
well, it was this. She was like a elderly, like sick lady that was telling Dawn that she.
Gotcha. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, Dawn last night he was in rare form again, and he was like doing peeps and poops on on.
Oh my God.
Did you
I
see him
woke
sitting
up
on the
this
toilet?
morning. Yes.
That was my favorite.
I didn't see it until someone screenshot and sent it to me, and I woke up this morning and that was the first thing I saw, and I was like, God, what a way to start the day.
I saw it before I went to bed. What a way to start the rest. I mean,
we need a compilation of how many times Don does this.
Dude, it was the poor, today is Summer's birthday. And to be honest with you, and I've said this before, there's not a lot to celebrate, man. I mean, I really wish there was, but I have zero issue with anybody doing anything that they feel that they want to do, and people really do need to just worry about themselves and what they do on their channel, and I'll do what I do on mine. You'll do what you do on yours. And if I'm getting tired of people saying this is about Summer. This is about Summer. How is this helping Summer?
But yet they'll go attack someone, some other creator for what they're talking about.
Two things can happen at one time. I mean,
absolutely.
For anybody to think that talking about something else. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? Just not discuss anything ever? And by the way, I would say to anybody that thinks, that would say 40 years ago or whatever, listen to the way he just talked about it the other day. A 58-year-old man, the way he still talks about a 5-year-old little kid. Is it a coincidence that his 5-year-old daughter's missing? Yeah, maybe. But what the hell else was he doing? Right. What was going on in that house? Is that a unfair question? That seems to be about Summer to me.
It's not an unfair question.
I don't think so. And I'm going to ask it anyway. And, for, somebody like the Toothless Wonder or whatever, give me some money for my computer. Oh, absolutely. For her to, I mean, she's maybe the biggest flip flopper in the history of the world. I mean, you want to talk about a Benedict Arnold, if she was in the military, she'd be court-martialed. She'd probably be discharged because she couldn't chew a steak to begin with. She's got this whole no summer, no peace. It's like, no humor, no teeth. It should be her mantra.
Well, I mean, the other day she was all hating up on Don and Candace, and
it's whatever way the wind blows.
Yeah, and I mean,
and by the way, what she said about my father was completely venomous, and somebody who, look, I could care less what that lady says, and I'm not even sure that she's a lady, but I'm kind of sure. I don't know what she is, but to say something like that, like a lesser person, could do something awful to themselves.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, that was a really vicious thing to say. And the fact that she has a problem with me and not Dawn tells me everything I need to know about her,
Absolutely.
with her fake
1000%.
prayers, with her fake whatever. She's another Dawn victim. Dawn has sucked her in, and there is no investigation. You know, like, it's just, she's the weirdest, odd, like, she's just a little odd troll, you know, and everybody's going to see who she is here, like, soon. That'll be fun.
The other day, she was on a panel and she said, Justin isn't about, he don't give a shit about Summer or something like that. And I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
right.
and someone clipped it and sent it to me. And I was like, and she said, because of Jose. And she's like, he hogged Jose. And I was like, no, I wasn't going to feed him to the internet because the man was fragile the way it is, right? And I was not going to just hand him off into the ether of YouTube because it was crazy enough anyways. And I gave him into the right hands, in my opinion, which was, you and Chris. So,
well, look, you know, and I did speak with Jose a couple times. There was nothing to share. First and foremost, he was, you know, being attacked viciously by, you know, like I said, he already had problems and drug and alcohol issues, and he, you know, admitted to all that stuff. But like, I would just ask anybody that witnessed anything last night or the night before on YouTube with Dawn, would you send kids back there?
well, this is the thing. If you have kids or when you had kids at a smaller age, would you let them babysit?
No.
Hell no.
No. And I said that, I think I said that on my show. Maybe it was last night or the night before, but I said, you know, because Tim Mullins, you know, how he's all up in the mix for some reason. And I said, you know, if he has grandchildren, once you drop your grandkids off, you know, and take a vacation with Don and Candace, hang out with them for the weekend. I bet you won't. I wouldn't. And, you know, then what ends up always coming up is, you know, like whatever the toothless lady's name is. I always forget her name, and I refuse to call her what she calls herself in the third person, which is one of the weirdest things ever. She's a nameless, faceless, gutless coward, if you ask me, because she won't show her face, and we'll fix that for her. I mean, I have no problem doing that. She crossed a line with me, and I have the right to, you know, defend myself, but at the same time, she's a victim of Dawn too. So, and she doesn't even know it. That's how, I mean, you know, I don't know. Brain cells or teeth. I'm not sure which she has more of. Probably, you know, that's probably on par.
Yeah,
but
neck and neck.
Yeah. So, you know, and I'm not trying to be. Oh, look, Shannon Hooks is here.
Shannon Hooks. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Look at that. Huh? Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Shannon? You ever seen her before?
Yeah.
In here?
Hold on. I'll put something in private chat.
Oh, is it a troll?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please don't mention other creators. I'm trying not to.
No, not you.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming soon. I mean, you know, I mean, you can only hide your face for so long. I mean, I think that everybody needs to see what we're dealing with.
You know, I personally, if you've never shown your face, why? You
Because
know, and
she's a coward and a chicken, and she wants to hide behind
I'm not going to trust anyone I can't see their face at least once or twice. You know what I mean? I mean, it
No, of
just
course not. Of course not. But yeah, she's a very vicious little troll or whatever she is, and but she'll go after me for things that have been said about me, and that people don't even know the whole story too, and
right,
there's only one side out there, and maybe eventually I'll put the other side out there, but now's really not the time. I don't really care about that situation
right.
anymore. What the situation I care about is what I'm doing on my channel, and um, like they need to get. Nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't do on my channel, just like nobody's should tell you what
Of
you can
course,
and can't
of
do.
course.
I cover who I want to cover. Um, I talk about what I want to talk about, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big learning curve when you're a new creator, particularly. But we're always learning as creators. You know what I mean? And there's things that we take at some point that other times we won't take. You know what I mean? Maybe when we were newer and stuff. But yeah, nobody should tell you what you should cover, what you either way. It's just move on,
Yeah,
move
yeah,
on.
and that's another thing too is that I share my story, and I have always shared my story. Never to weaponize it or never to beg for sympathy or attention. I don't want any sympathy. I don't want any attention for that. It's actually kind of a shameful past, that there's nothing. I don't benefit from it in any way, shape, or form, other than telling people, hey, like you can overcome and somehow manage to have some kind of life beyond your tragedy. And if that's if that is a cry for sympathy, then
Well,
what is Dawn doing?
it's nothing. It was totally out of your hands.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
But
You're
I felt a lot of guilt for it.
Of course, but you were a victim of it. You're a victim too in that.
Yeah, but I survived,
Yeah,
and
you're
that's the
you're a
thing is that
survivor of that.
the thing is, like, people like Don and his handlers, they don't get to me. They don't bother me. I don't think about them. Like, you want to talk crap. Sure, we can do that. You want to mock each other. Sure, we can do that. But give us that. Let's see your face to give us that subject matter, because I know that it's not going to be fun for you. Look, I'm not particularly good looking, and yeah, I show my face all the time.
It has nothing to do with whether you're good looking or
No,
not.
but the
It's your
thing is, she
cry.
doesn't want to be attacked for who she is, what she looks like. She doesn't want to sit up there and smoke cigarettes with her probably, yellow fingernails and smoking around all her children and things like that. I mean, all that stuff's gross, and I can guarantee she does.
Oh, you can always hear that later.
Yeah, and you go, hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? PG's here. It's so asinine. Like, and the thing is, she's just a conduit to Dawn. Like, I don't care anything about her. I don't care anything about her, and I'm going to be up in Dawn's ass tomorrow night too.
I was shocked to hear the flip-flopping. Like, I was shocked, but I wasn't at the same time. Because you just like 48 hours ago, he was the worst human being on the planet. And now he's vindicated.
I kind of feel like, they're like, oh, he'd been poking and prodding. And well, that's true, but that's been going on for a long time. It's not my fault that he was in jail for drinking and driving. I mean, what kind of a scumbag does that too? I mean, that's a terrible thing to do as well. Candace signed a statement saying that she was scared for her life and he was scared for her children. You imagine living with that monster, just walking around, not wiping his butt all day, just peeing without washing his hands. And it's just like, oh my God, I can't even, I absolutely can't stand it. It's just
I
so
know.
gross.
So gross.
But yeah, like,
These
you
people
know,
are so easily manipulated.
well, that goes, the fact that Don can manipulate them means that, like,
They're easy.
well, that Don is smarter than them, and that's a scary
Yeah.
thought
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because he's not
the
smart at all.
the same questions that these creators had a month ago are still not answered. The same questions we had a year and a half ago, nearly 2 years, we still have, and somehow that is all glazed over now, and it's smooth sailing with Dawn.
Yeah, right. Apparently, because something happened 40 years ago, it doesn't make it relevant. Doesn't
Right.
mean, like I said the other day, they didn't stop prosecuting Nazis after World War II.
Well, and
You
it
know,
it apparently is relevant in the victims' minds every single day, because the day after Summer went missing, it was still relevant in at least one of Don's victims' mind to make a phone call.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they,
You
they
know,
act like Chris was the one that told them to do that, and that's just not true. They did it on their
well,
own.
he didn't even know Chris.
No. And then he was saying things like to me, he's saying, "You're a Chris McDonough wannabe," and I'm going, I'm the guy that created the pedo in the shadow and the diddler on the roof. I didn't even know who Chris was when I did that stuff. I
Right.
just knew. I mean, I had seen his show, but I've been doing Don dirty for a really long time, and for him to, when he goes, "Oh, we were friends," I'm like, "What? We were what?" I have
Yeah.
never been friends with you. I had one conversation that was civil where I told him, "Hey, I think Candace is lying to you, or that she has lied to you, and you're in it, and you're deep."
Mm,
And he was like, "But you know what, bro? Like, I just know in her heart that she's heartbroken, and that's how I know she's innocent." And I said, "Okay, man, fair enough." And it was a civil conversation once. Every other conversation that we've had has been contentious. He's screamed at me. He's called me names. I could care less that he does
right.
that stuff.
Right.
But I don't understand how talking about Don's behavior has nothing to do with his missing daughter.
Mhm.
That blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Well, I mean, it's the behavior of and the lifestyle that they live, is a direct consequence of where they are today.
Yeah, and he's going to be pissed off tomorrow at my show tomorrow too. So, be
So,
excited for that if you want. I mean, look, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it just to get under Don's skin. I'm doing it because I want to show a pattern of behavior. Look, anybody can be accused of something, once, and where's the pattern of behavior? That
mhm,
when there's a pattern of behavior, that's when it is
mhm.
damning, and he has a pattern of behavior like
It-
all.
Regardless, he will most likely be in jail, whether whether it's has nothing to do with Summer or not. You know what I mean? Like
Who's on
he,
probation when they're 58?
well, exactly.
I mean, the fact that like, if you're
He's
58 years old and you're on probation, like, that was such a juvenile thing to be on probation. Like, by the way, I've never been on probation. I've never been arrested. I've never, anything like
yeah.
that. And I've also never, well, he did accuse me of possibly, doing the things that he did when he was younger. He's like, everybody's done it. You've done it. And I said,
Oh, I remember that, and
no, I haven't. I
I
certainly haven't.
I told
Um,
one of my mods, I said, "What world does he think that this is a normal thing. And I really believe it's because of how he was in his family, how he grew up in his family. It was just a constant. And I mean, and I think it was on Candace's side too. I mean, look at Grandis's brother, right? It's just a common thing when they're
Yeah, look, Don said last night that he wasn't essayed as a kid, but he was mentally abused, which I'm sure that he was. And for that, I truly am sorry that anybody at any age has felt any abuse. And I sympathize with people that have been abused and taught the wrong way. But the fact of the matter is, his story involving his stepsister, it doesn't hold water, and it's inexcusable. It's one of the, I mean, it's right there with murder. There's, to me, like I said, murder, you take someone's life, and essaying somebody, you take their spirit, you take their soul,
you
crush their heart, and a lot of people feel like they're just dead or waiting to be dead. And so to defend a life crime, to me, is ridiculous. Look, there's so many offenders out there that they can't even keep them in jail. Okay.
Yeah.
So what they have to do is they have to make a website that they have to register on, so people know to stay away from them, because they're dangerous for the rest of their lives.
Well, and Josh, and that isn't the reason why they have a website too, is these people can't be rehabilitated.
Exactly. That's the only thing that they can do, is to warn the public about them.
Yes.
I mean, what is it? You get more time for an armed robbery than essaying a child. And I would say that one is worse than the other. They're both bad.
Absolutely.
But, where's the context there?
Exactly.
And like I said, once again, the other day, the way he was talking about Jeannie when she was 5.
Oh, God.
He's 58. And he said, I didn't ask for a driver's license.
Yeah. What 5-year-old has a freaking driver's license?
So that's the excuse. And people want to blame me for him saying those things. Oh, you baited him. Right. Because that's something that I would have thought of, right off the top of my head. Hey, Don, how about, I wasn't looking for a driver's license, but I had a motorbike, and I drove that motorbike from Utah to Knoxville to buy crack. And then, it's just like, whatever, dude. Like,
did you have a motor's license, Don?
I was 5 years old when I was driving that motorbike and buying crack, but I was 5. But the funny thing is, he says she needs to take responsibility for what she did when she was 5. But when he was 14, he didn't know any better.
Like, 5 years old, that is literally kindergarten. You're starting kindergarten at 5.
Well, if you're me, you're taking kindergarten for the second time, probably. But yeah.
Well,
I think I got held back in kindergarten. Maybe I was 6. I can't remember.
So some people, if
I was a late bloomer. But the thing about it is, he's not a good person.
No.
And
regardless of if he has anything to do with Summer or not. And that's what I try to tell people. It's not, in this case, for me, it's irregardless of whether him or Candace had anything to do with Summer. I still don't think Don and Candace are good people, and I never will.
I mean, is there anything to suggest that
What?
they are? And that's the thing. This isn't some like elitist thing or some. It's really about their kids. They can do whatever the hell they want to do.
Right.
But it's not my opinion. The state took their children. I just happen to agree with it. I just happen to agree with that. They should never. Who should live in that? Who should live in that house? What I saw last night was an extension of what's been going on for almost 20 months now. And before that, years and years and years. And he's like, we've been under construction. Chris came in here and painted a picture. And no. He took a picture. He didn't paint a picture. The picture's painted. It was just shown. That's that, if you're going to be mad about that, then whatever. That's your fault. It's all his fault. None of it's my fault. And he could put it on me and say, you want to make this about, look, I don't just cover June 15th, 2021. I do cover it, but other days are important to me as well. Other things are important to me as well. And one of the things that I find particularly offensive is an abuser of children. And there's no explaining that. None. And for the people that want to stick up for him, your opinion means nothing to me. Nothing to me. Like I won't listen. I couldn't care less. I'll skip all the way past you. I'll cross the street so we don't walk on the same side together. We are not the same people. I won't. Yeah. I just won't do it. I refuse to. I just refuse to side with somebody that has said the things with absolutely no remorse.
Exactly. Victor.
No remorse at all. That's his problem, not mine.
When is it okay for children to be treated that way? No, YouTube wants to be humane to grown man, but not demand justice for children. Exactly. I mean, if you are in true crime and you demand justice for children, it has to be for all children. You can't just demand justice for some, and it doesn't matter if they were 5 years old and they grew up to be 50 years old. The victim today is 40 or 50 years old. She's still a victim.
Yeah, then he lied when we brought up at first I brought up the third victim statement that was read to him. And he lied and said that didn't happen because that doesn't fit his narrative of the stepsisters trying to get his house. Well, okay, then what about the third victim that wrote a victim statement that was read to you? And he said, well, that was a lie too. Did she want your parents' house? Did she want your house? I don't think so. And it's just... weird.
It's all about wanting something, or whatever. I mean, he was given the house that he's at now. Right. So, is he getting, he wants the other house, but he says, that it's all about a house. I mean, listen, when my father died, I didn't get in a fight with my sisters and say, oh, well, this happened, so you're not, it's because you want the house, right? I mean, his logic is just buffoonery.
And then he says, well, we did this stuff, but then in their victim statements, they're lying. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make sense either. And
they're signing that under the penalty of perjury.
Yeah. And for some reason, Don thinks that is, whatever. Hey, look, when he called the show, I had always said, look, when I cover somebody and if it's unflattering or whatever, they have the right to defend themselves. I have no problem with that.
Of course.
You want to come up? You want to defend yourself? You want to have a conversation?
But cussing you is not defending.
And
That's not
I don't know,
defending.
Justin, how many times did I try to ask him about Summer?
Several.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, well, then, and he kept bringing up Chris. He kept bringing up Jeannie and Mary. So then that's the road that we went down. It didn't go good for him. He looked like a complete a-hole, like he always does, except to the toothless women that love him. And, the women that are grown into their chairs because they never stand up or whatever. And they're just like, oh, Don, we love you so much. You're such a good man, as he's taking a dump on alive. And you're going, he's hammered. He's hammered off his butt. And, but then, so he's fuming at me. He's trying to grind his axe with me about Chris. I counted 9 times, maybe 11. Well, he brought him up. So finally I said, you know what?
You're not Chris.
Yeah. Well, okay, then here's Chris. Talk to him.
Yeah,
and
about
that,
when that happened. I was texting ICU. I was like, get on, girl, get on.
Oh my God. I mean, it was like when that happened, it was just like, look, I would have, by the way, and there are people who say, oh, that was set up. It absolutely was not. It just happened to be that he wouldn't shut up about Chris. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, how about you just have it out with him? Not me. Have it out with him. And then Chris plays him like a fiddle to admit that there was a third victim statement read to him, and he's going, well, I don't want to talk about that. Well, why don't you want to talk about that? Because she doesn't want your parents' house? Is that why? 40 years ago? Oh, I'm so sorry. It was 40 years ago. What? I mean, Genghis Khan was 500 years ago. I mean, people still think that that's a terrible thing, right? Yeah, what he was doing. I mean, it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yes.
There are other things. There are other things in life that can be addressed at the same time.
Well, by the way, at the same time.
Well, it's not even the same people investigating. Utah isn't investigating Summer,
right,
and her disappearance.
Right.
They're investigating Don and his pervertedness. Hawkins County is investigating his little child, where she is. 2 things can happen at one time.
Absolutely. And I mean, but look at all the states and the path of destruction that they have left in every state that they've been in. And it's very common for these type of people to hop around from state to state.
Yeah.
And it's just like Don and Candace, they said, well, Tennessee took their kids, well, another state took their kids from another state too. 3 other kids. It's not just one state, one instance. This is a pattern. This is multiple times.
And let's not pretend that what the farm lady and the toothless lady are up to. They hate Don. They hate him. They've said worse things about him than I ever have. But it gives their channel a bump.
Yeah.
It brings people over. What's the jackass going to say today? I don't need him on my channel. I don't even want him on my channel. He wants to call, yell at me, fine. Is he invited? No. He showed up in my chat, was saying this is drama. Okay, then get out. Get out.
Well, I won't do that for anything. You know what I mean? Bump or not, it's not, I mean, he has done horrible things to human beings. paths of destruction. And I'm not going to put him up on my channel just to get a bump. You know what I
didn't.
mean?
Yeah, and that was the thing, is that I don't know. I think, and like I said, I'm not a numbers guy. I really don't care that much. We're between 230 and 300, 350 a show, 400, whatever. It doesn't matter. That night before Dawn ever showed up, we were like right at 1,000 because people wanted to hear about Dawn and who he really was. Okay.
Right.
I didn't ask him to be on the show. I said, you could call in if you want. You're welcome to. He did. He hung up. That was it. He called back. I didn't call him back. He called me back and then went on again. His goal by the end of that was to change my opinion of what happened. Right.
Yep.
And it didn't go good for him. And all I did was just keep bringing up. I honestly asked, can I ask you about Summer 3 or 4 times? No, we didn't want to. And then when he would answer me, it was so hostile. I'm like, okay, well, what about this? See, you're not listening to me, brother. You're not listening. I've already, how many times I have to say it? Well, okay, then you don't want to talk about Summer. Get out of here then. That was, I tried to talk about Summer. I asked about Summer. He didn't answer my questions. So whatever. What am I supposed to do about that? Exactly. Josh, you baited him. Trust me, I'm not that smart. I'm not. Baited him. I've railed against him forever. He's the one on the warpath. He's the one that is trying to change. He even said it last night that, it'd be nice if like the public opinion about us changed, and that takes some time or something like that. And I said, well, you know what? It's going to take you another 40 years, brother, because I'm not stopping. And, exactly. and then, all these people telling me, leave the Utah case alone. No, never. I'll never leave it alone. I don't care if I do care if he gets prosecuted or not. But if they decide not to, that doesn't mean he didn't admit to it. That doesn't mean that he didn't do it. He did it. He admitted to it.
Wisconsin, Arkansas, Utah, and now Tennessee. Candace and Dawn lost 3 kids to 3 states. I guess you mean like 3 sets of kids, maybe. And CPS abuse neglect records are in 4 states. And, one of my girlfriends, she's my neighbor. She works for CPS, and there is a ton of Dawn and Candaces out there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There is a ton. They see it all the time, and she'll see they'll move out of state for a while, then they'll come back, and
it's like doctor shopping type thing.
Yes, it's the same people, that.
No, and by the way, for the record, if Candace is ill or whatever, I don't wish her harm. I just wish she'd tell the truth. I just wish she'd be honest, because the health of her daughter is much more important. And it seems to be about her. And when the walls kind of start closing in on them, or, people start turning up the pressure, something happens. And look, I think that she was born with a heart issue. I believe that to be true. Sure. I was born with the same heart issue. I was born with a hole in my heart, and I had a heart murmur, and, so on and so forth. I grew out of that, which a lot of people do. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. But the thing is, I don't really care either. Like, I don't, just like I said the other day, Dawn and Candace don't care about my health issues, which I mean, not that I have any at the moment, knock on wood. I'm just saying, I wouldn't expect them to.
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what we're talking about here. We're on Find Summer Wells. How is Candace? Well, I would ask this the same question. People would say, well, how is this about Summer? Mm-hmm. Well, what does Candace's heart issues have to do with Summer? how is that going to help us find some? Okay, so she has a heart surgery to keep her alive so she can search. Is that what she's going to go hiking
Be
through the
around.
woods? She's going to get her camelback, fill it with water, and
Yeah.
go look after she's got a
Well,
real healthy heart. Is that
I
going to
mean,
happen?
one time they said they were out searching and someone was at the house or something, and they asked, they're down there searching for Summer like that, and she was playing like Uno or something like that, and she just shrugged her shoulders. And that's when another time Marissa was down there, and I think that's when she showed up at Dawn's work and stuff, and they said, "Where's Summer?" like that, and
Mhm.
Candace goes, shrugs her shoulders.
Yeah, and there she's obviously um, detached from the situation. Um,
Who
but you know
doesn't
what?
talk?
She may have major guilt too. I don't know if she does or not,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of things that Candace has done in her life that are not good either, just like all of us. But like we're talking about, there's levels to this, okay?
There's
Not all
definite
not
levels.
all crimes are equal. Not all mistakes are equal. Um, my mistakes don't rise to the level of theirs, and I'm not better than them. I've been a victim of a poor parent and predators and so on and so forth. That's it. I mean, and I don't like people like Dawn. And Dawn doesn't like people like me.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Dawn doesn't like anybody, and Candace, and these types of people, not just those two, but they don't like anyone that talks about accountability. Everything has to be an excuse. I'm a victim because this happened to me. Well, what did you do in order to go to jail? Right? Well, you violated your probation, right? Which you violating your probation, you go to jail. And you had to do something in order to get probation in the first place. So there's another thing. It's just an endless cycle. It's a treadmill that these people are on. And you just step off the treadmill and take accountability, and then you can start walking forward. Otherwise, you're just walking in the same place.
Yeah, and they are those two, Dawn and Candace, are in one of the most codependent relationships I've ever seen.
Oh,
It's rough, and I think at some point, but I think Candace had already kind of made these major life mistakes before she ever met Dawn, and Dawn had made major life mistakes before he met Candace. And fair enough. Like I said, that happens. People do change. But I'm guessing Candace probably got worse when she met Dawn.
Yeah,
because they're by the way, one of the funnier things was last night he said that she was 36.
Who?
Dawn said that Candace was 36 yesterday.
Really?
She's 40 years old.
Yeah, I know. But I mean,
he has no idea. Like, he's just super clueless, or he was that drunk. And then,
but he didn't know how old Summer was either, so I'm not surprised.
Right. Well, right after that, he pinched a loaf on live. I mean, put his camera down, or put his phone down facing up.
Yeah.
And then stands up.
Yeah.
And pulls his pants up.
Do you not think about, like, turning the camera off and like double checking
Well, so he went on 4 different shows last night. Like I said, on
Yeah,
2, one of the funniest ones
he's on tour.
was there was some lady was like, can I read my poem for you or my prayer for you? And she's like, dear God, please watch over the Wells, Don and Candace, and lift them up in your Holy Spirit. And all of a sudden you hear this, psst, and he's like, and I'm going, oh my God. Right in the middle, and you can just see people are like in the prayer during the prayer. I was just like, dude, and he's like, oh yeah. So then,
He's dropping a deuce.
yes. So then after that, he was like,
Yeah,
when
you
he
heard
was
the
on
flash.
Dolly's, I think.
You
Yeah,
hear,
when he's on Dolly, clicked them off. He was like, because you could hear him start peeing again, right? And
yeah.
Dolly's like, okay, we're gonna take him up. And then it was so funny when he's like, all right, we'll give him a minute. Like 30 seconds goes by. He's like, all right, let's bring him back in. And brings him back in. And you hear Don, he hadn't finished. He's like, oh, that felt good. It's like, what the freak is going on?
You hearing, you hear a flush and then like a belt buckle and a zip, and that's what a beautiful prayer, sissy. What a beautiful prayer.
Dear
Prayer.
God, please watch over Don and Candace and Candace the Target's use. Oh God. And then he's on, I can't remember the other show, and they're like, he's just sitting on the toilet. I'm going, oh my God, he's on the toilet. This is all night. He's just, oh man. By the way, like I said, not one time did he wash his hands.
That's true. 1-800 where TBI find. Let's not forget that Candace also pulled a gun on CPS worker.
Shotgun, yeah.
Yeah.
Don told me all about that.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, she was really stressed out that day. She said she was having a rough time, brother. Yeah, it sounds like it, my friend. And like I said, that sucks. But, how dare us think that we're better than somebody who pulled a gun on a CPS worker?
Mm-hmm. My friend, I don't think she's ever had a gun pulled on her, but she's definitely, had to be escorted with the police for sure.
Right. Well, I mean, terrible things happen. So, and it is tragic. And I, like I said, her first set of kids who don't know her at all, that one of them is in that living or assisted living facility. And I don't know if she was the one that caused it. But one of those two did in that house. And it was a major reason why they lost their kids again. But,
now was in what? What do you mean?
What's that?
She was in, what do you mean, the house?
Well, so the son, her first set of children, I think it was a boy and a girl, and the one boy ended up in a assisted living facility. He's still there because he had some sort of traumatic brain injury from abuse. But I don't know
that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Candace that did it or if it was the husband. And this was like 20 years ago or something. But no, that definitely the young lady said it herself.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Candace's, and I think for some reason I think that the young girl's name's Candace too. It's just a bunch of Candaces.
There's a lot of Candaces, yes.
Yeah.
Well, one of the daughters' names is Candace, right? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one that
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
yeah. She wrote a letter or something a long time ago, didn't she? Or a message?
Yeah, somebody reached out to her. She was like an 18 or 19-year-old girl, which is ridiculous again. But apparently, I don't know if it was with a bat. I don't really know. It was the husband with a baseball bat. I saw. Okay, well there you go. Yeah, that's the kind of life that those kids were exposed to. And then, but I'm telling you, Justin, that you didn't see when that lady was like reading that prayer? It's like, pray us out, Don. All right. And then the lady's like, dear Lord, please be with the Wells and comfort them in their time of need. Oh, bro. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today. Oh my God.
I've said it 1,000 times, Josh. There will never be another case like this.
Thank God.
Thank God. Thank God.
It's crazy. It's the crazy. You cannot make it up. I baited the pee guy and whatever. I don't even care.
No,
what channel was that? I don't know. He was on 4. I can't even remember. He was on 4 different shows yesterday, just calling in, sight unseen. Send me a link. Send me a link. And then he's, this is what he does.
Now, is it 7 or 8 children between the two of them?
I'm not sure. I've heard it was 7. I think it's 7.
I thought it was 7, but then I heard, I don't know. I don't know if it's 7 or 8. 4, and Candace had 2 or 3 more.
I think. I'm not exactly sure. I just know that they lost all of them. Mm-hmm. They never kept one. So I think it's. So somebody said 8, including Summer. Okay, well there you go. That makes sense.
Well,
Don had what? 2 other kids, a daughter and a son.
Oh, I didn't know he had another daughter. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, remember, because she got essayed too, and he was like proud of her for not going to the cops about it.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, that's another thing. Maybe that, I might bring that one back into rotation tomorrow, because like I said, I'm more motivated than ever. It's all my fault, so I'm just going to make it all my fault now. And, we'll throw that one into the rotation. But yeah, so he was very proud of his 18-year-old daughter because, she didn't go crying and complaining or something like that, or go to the police. It's like, oh my God.
50, thank you so much for the gift memberships. I really do appreciate that, my dear. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Josh. It's like, it's like almost like litters of kids, and they have like this. It's like almost a past life, and they have these kids, and then they're all gone. So they go, into a new relationship, Candace and Don, and they make more kids, and then those kids suffer. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's like, 7 or 8 lives.
And he's on this CPS Stole My Kids tour as well, and that they did it as a money-making scheme. They preyed on Don and Kim. They preyed on them because they're an Amber Alert family. I'm not, whatever the hell that means. But that's not a thing, by the way. There's an Amber Alert out for Summer Wells, not for anybody else. We know where everybody else is. Unfortunately, we know where Dawn and Candace are. I didn't bring Dawn back onto YouTube. No, it wasn't my idea.
When he got out, I thought, you know what? They finally learned.
Me too. Me too.
I thought they finally learned. They got it. And it was a good month or two. And then just in the last couple weeks, it's been every night,
It all started when he kind of called in. He didn't call in, but like he called, I don't know. I'm sure you don't like. Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, they called Cam and Allie, and then, and then he cussed out somebody else, and you're just like, oh, okay, well there's Dawn, ding ding. And like I said, I do truly think I understand why somebody would want to defend themselves. But good Lord, I just don't think that you can
But
defend Dawn.
they have had nearly 2 years, and it's just made it worse because they don't learn. They come up with these genius ideas, right?
I would be, they do say, the old saying goes, there are just some people who shouldn't have children. And as harsh as that is,
It's true.
well, it is true. And I don't know if Don and Candace are beyond help as when it comes to getting sober or whatever. I truly hope that wouldn't be the case. But there's more honor in admitting that, hey, like we're not in a good place here, folks. My kids are really well taken care of right now, and I want the best for them.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Why is that a problem? Why, like, how can you not see? And of course, I think that they can, but I don't understand why he can't just, or she can't just say, look, we have problems.
Yes.
Our kids were being affected by those problems. They still are being affected by those problems. And we aren't capable of taking care of ourselves right now,
let alone other mouths to feed and to take care of. Yeah.
It's okay. It sucks.
I think
know.
There's honor in that.
I do too. I think there's a lot of it.
That. Yeah.
I think that would be one of the more noble things to do. Like there are women and men give their children up for adoption because they're just like, there is no way I can raise this kid the right way.
Joe brings up a good point, and I don't know about that gag order, if it's still in place or not, but if it is still in place, I mean, holy hell, all they have to do is look to YouTube, because he's clearly broken that.
He certainly has, and it's really a shame. But I appreciate you having me up. I'm gonna finish the chicken wire thing so the dog doesn't get into the house again. The worst. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me, and we'll see you tomorrow.
You're always welcome up. All right.
Thank you, Justin. Bye.
Oh goodness. Well, that was Josh. Always a pleasure having him up. It's talking about Don and Candace, man. I mean, I know a lot of you in here who has been here since day one of John, or rather Don and Candace and Summer Wells case, and we have seen so much in the last year and a half, nearly 2 years, but still nothing has happened at the same time. Like, nothing has moved forward in this case, and there has been so many cases solved, that Monkey, Michael Vaughn, the West brothers and all that, and still nothing. Okay. So yeah. Well, TBI is on it. They are on it, and I have faith in TBI that they will find answers. YouTubers are not going to find the answers to this. It's too much. It really is too layered and all of that. So anywho, but guys, I am going to call it a night. I could be back a little later. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. I appreciate it. Love each and every one of you. Please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Thank you for your support. If you are able to become a member, please become a member. We need it now more than ever, as YouTube it's getting tough. Very tough. Gotta go do some stuff with the family. So love you all, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.